Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Fertility Frequency Podcast. My name is Kirsty. I am a womb alchemist, spirit-led shaman, and fertility and rebirth mentor. Before I found this work, I spent years as a nurse and midwife, walking beside hundreds of women through the thresholds of birth, loss, and becoming. Now I midwife transformation in a different way, through energy healing, ceremony, doula support, and sacred remembrance. This new season, Rebirth, is an invitation to slow down, to soften and reconnect to the sacred pulse of your feminine body. We'll explore the medicine of your cycles, the spirit of conception, the healing of the womb, and the tender rebirth that happens when you choose to trust your body again. Every fortnight, you'll join me for conversations, transmissions, and embodied practices that bridge the sacred and the science, the seen and unseen. Here, fertility becomes more than a destination. It's a path home to your feminine essence. So take a deep breath with me, gorgeous soul. Feel your womb, your heart, and your spirit, remembering. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this next episode in our Season 2 Fertility Frequency Podcast. I am really excited to be here today. I have a few things on my heart that I really feel called to share with you. As I said in the intro, things are a little bit different in the Fertility Frequency Podcast this season as we are broadening the horizon of how we look at fertility, how we engage with fertility and conception, and how that interrelates to not just women on their conception journeys, but to the broader collective of women as well. And so today, yes, it is actually quite specific to the beautiful souls who are arriving Earthside. And so today we are going to be journeying through some spirit baby messages for 2026 that I really desired to bring to the conversation. And perhaps there's parts in here for you to resonate with, to ponder on, or potentially act upon if you feel this sense of a push or a pull to dive in a little bit deeper. And so, like I said, today is a little bit different because it is such a channeled transmission. And when I tuned in to the collective spirit baby energy, there was such sacred medicine that wanted to be shared. And I really felt called to honoring this part of what they're sharing with me so then I can share that out into the collective as well. And so if you're someone who has felt a presence around you, or if you've been wondering, why is this taking so long? Or you've been feeling like your timeline is shifting and you have been journeying through a lot of inner work, then this episode is perfectly timed and aligned for you. Because what came through today was really clear, really powerful, and this deeper sense of understanding that I hope that you will open your heart to receive today. And I am just going to share with you the pieces as they emerged and arrived as I had this beautiful channeled conversation with the collective of the spirit babies that came through as well. So firstly, we're going to break down this into little bite-sized sections so that way we can stay on track, because I am so often led on tangents, which is fine. But I'd really like to keep this on track today. But if there's a necessary sidetrack that we need to venture to, then I'm so for that too. But in this first section, we're going to talk about when fear becomes louder than faith. And so this first piece that came in was really pivotal in terms of speaking to the women that have come into this space of conception and they're feeling like they're doing the work, but then this element of fear, this disappointment, just seems to become more profound than the faith and the trust and the inner wisdom that our body holds. And so when our fear becomes louder than our faith, what I was hearing from these beautiful spirit babies is that you cannot hear them. And so when our consciousness is distracted, distorted by fear, there is this inability for our beautiful spirit babies to communicate with us, because it's like we're muffling the sounds or the communication lines with them. Because you will understand a little bit more as I journey into our conversation today around the frequency and the energy that they hold, and the importance of not allowing this fear to become front and center on this journey, which I know can be so hard to not let that take over sometimes. And we are human. I so get it. And there is a time, and sometimes it is necessary, in order for the fear, the worry to infiltrate in our system. But it is always an opportunity to begin to reflect of, am I in this for a little bit too long? Am I actually living from this space of fear and uncertainty and grasping at anything and everything that I can, instead of becoming this aligned version of self and opening up your capacity to be in direct communication with your spirit baby? Because spirit babies communicate through subtlety. For some women, they may be louder than others, but often there is this subtle nature that our spirit babies communicate through. And this is often through intuition, synchronicities, sensations, dreams, those little nudges that we may get when we are being pulled somewhere, to go somewhere. It can really begin to be shown to us, these subtleties. But when fear gets in the way, then that communication becomes a little bit harder. And so when we think about fear as a broad term, it's quite a dense frequency, and this creates this static within our body. It blocks our heart, it closes our wombs, it pauses our ability to receive, because we're in this constrictive mode of nothing feels safe. I don't feel safe to open. I don't know how to open my heart, because if I do that, then there's this vulnerability and I don't desire to get hurt. And that is a perfectly normal human response. And what I was communicating with these beautiful spirit babies about today is that, they were sharing with me that they're not asking you to be perfect. We are still going to have human moments, and we cannot expect ourselves to be in this high vibe frequency of, oh my gosh, I know it's going to happen in divine timing, and, not sit sometimes in the grief and the sadness that can present itself to us on our conception journeys if we're experiencing loss or, delayed conception, or having to traverse an IVF path to conception. And, these beautiful spirit babies are not asking for you to be perfect. They're asking you to soften and to trust that your soul and theirs is already in conversation, but to just be mindful of how much you center yourself around the fear. Now, I hope this is landing for some of you beautiful souls today, because sometimes that can be hard. You're probably thinking, yeah, right, Kirsty, that's easier said than done. And I get it. But it's just taking that little moment to take a breath and see how you can recenter yourself and recenter your nervous system to begin to lean in a little more, which we will journey into in the next parts within today's potty episode 2. The next part that they really wanted to highlight was this path that they have been walking, really. And especially over the last 5 years, there has been this immense portal of clearing. And this beautiful message is all around timing. And so the message that I received was that they are coming. It was pretty much the first thing that I wrote down when I was channeling these beautiful spirit babies. They're like, we're coming. It was kind of like this reassurance of we haven't forgotten. We know we're here, but there's some pieces on earth that need to happen in order for us to come on in first. And what they also shared with me, the collective is still clearing, and many of you haven't been able to receive us yet. Because when I tune into these beautiful spirit babies, they are of a whole new frequency. Their energies are different, their contracts are different. They are this pure source of energy and power that is so new that things actually have to shift quite dramatically in order for us to be this vessel for us to open to these spirit babies of the new world. And this is so much more than just your personal timeline. And so when we think more on a collective realm rather than an individualistic realm, this is not about your personal timeline as such. This is about a global recalibration of heart frequency. And so you can see we've all been a participant and a receiver of the last 5 years that has allowed us to bear witness to our integrity, our honesty, our soul truth, this, questioning of who am I? What am I doing here? Is this really serving me? And so many women have been through big identity shifts, relationship challenges, health resets, emotional upheavals, lineage clearing. These have all been huge themes that we have compacted into the last 5 years. And perhaps it was already starting just a little bit before that too. And like I said, these beautiful souls that are coming through, in 2026 and beyond are different. And they're arriving with this higher, clearer, more awakened frequencies. And really they are asking a lot of their mothers, especially. Yes, collectively in the partnership, but for their mothers especially, to do the inner work, to make the vessel that they are going to gestate in, to be clear, to be activated, to be, safe, where these beautiful mothers are holding this sense of safety, of inner knowing, and this integrity within them of unwaverability and their capacity to hold this new frequency within their wombs. And so this is where I am seeing in my client sessions a lot around nervous system recalibrations, mother wound healings, father wound healings. There is a lot of ancestral healing that is happening where these soul babies are coming in and they're saying, I do not want to take on that lineage of trauma. I am no longer actively participating in the thread of continuation of that story, of that trauma, of that experience. They're not here for it. And so it, fortunately, comes down to the mother, of her capacity to journey into those parts perhaps, clear, transmute those pieces in order for her to become this clean and clear vessel for this beautiful soul to arrive. And so this season that you are in as a woman, as journeying into this energy of conception, the waiting, the unraveling, the healing that you are journeying through and experiencing, yes, has been feeling drawn out, but it is all in this timeline. It is all in this necessity, right? And it's not a punishment, it's preparation. And I know when we feel this deep womb call that there is a baby just waiting to land in our wombs, that there is this visceral response that we experience as women that I need a baby. You have this visceral response of there is a baby coming, I need a baby in my womb, and there's kind of this element of urgency. And I so get that, I so understand that. But just know that they are coming. It is going to be worth the wait. And, it's this preparation phase. And so the more that you can lean into energetic alignment, womb healing, allowing yourself to nourish and tend to your body, which we're going to journey into in a little bit as well, and be in an active participant in this new frequency of energy that is coming through, then this preparation phase is going to be so, so worth it. And which leads us into the next piece that I wanted to share with you from the channeled message from today, was all around the invitations that you've been given. And this kind of leads on from our previous section around being a portal of clearing. But what they shared with me today was, and they said, we placed experiences on your path so you could heal before we arrive. And so I have tapped into this piece already. And so when we think about the last few years, every trigger, every cycle, every setback has been this deep invitation to deepen into nourishment, body embodiment, nervous system regulation, clearing your wound space, healing your ancestral wounds, feeling connected to your emotional body, relationship adjustments, strengthening your heart. These have all been pivotal pieces of preparation. When I connect in with women and their spirit babies, they are always sharing with me, I need a clean, clear vessel for me to arrive. And so when I share that with women on their conception journeys, often they may show me different aspects of what needs to be prioritized. Sometimes that is about nourishment. So yes, the food that we consume, it's more around looking at the quality and the vibrancy of the food that we are consuming to allow our bodies to feel alive. And maybe that is looking at the way our lymphatics are working, the way our detox pathways are working. Are we, looking at our lifestyle, looking at our stress responses, looking at how our nervous system is showing you how it is navigating this conception journey? Is it feeling drained and fatigued, or is that feeling alive and, prepared in order for this, whatever the journey looks like for you to unfold? And there's so much more that I could just dive into, especially around the beautiful womb space of yours and ancestral wounds. That has been such a big, big one that has been very prominent in my womb alchemy sessions with clients lately, and something perhaps for another episode that I can talk to you about. And so they shared with me within this piece today that they said that you think you're waiting for us, but we've been waiting for you to come home to yourself. And when I heard this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so, so true. This is so aligned. Like, this is just the piece, right? If you don't take anything else away from today's potty episode, allow this to be the piece that is your invitation. If you do nothing more, but just have this little piece in the back of your mind of, they have been waiting for you to come home to yourself, allowing you to be connected to your emotions, be reconnected to your innate wisdom and embodiment of who you are as a woman, how you can begin to feel, sense, connect into yourself. Because when we have this deeper sense of self, this deeper clarity of self, there is so much richness that can come from this, not only to welcome in your spirit baby, but also for yourself as woman. This is our divine birthright, to begin to listen to the whispers of our bodies, to become this embodied woman who, has this intuitive sense that just naturally flows in and out, this innate rhythm that just moves through her so distinctively. Like, this is the piece that your spirit babies are really wanting to bring forward for you. And it's this beautiful invitation, which leads us into the next part, which is all around heart frequency and these beautiful new age children that are coming in And this part 2 felt so powerful. And this message was that your heart frequency must rise for us to anchor. Not in the sense of perfection, but in truth. When I asked for some deeper clarity around this, what they were sharing with me was that these beautiful babies that are coming through are heart-led souls. Their souls are galactic coded, and so their frequency is much higher. Their vibration and their energies are different, and so their heart resonance is really, really different and unique. And we must begin to come back into our authenticity and our own inner truth as well. And we cannot work on just our hearts to welcome in our spirit babies, or just work into the element of our wombs. They have to be interconnected. And that's why I continue to talk about connecting into your mind, your body, your spirit, because all of that has to encompass this shift and this change. And so these children that will be birthed in the coming years, they will not be raised in fear, in survival, or self-abandonment. And so these 3 main themes are going to be coming up for you in order to awaken your heart and allow you to anchor in your truth, in your sovereignty, and allowing yourself to reweave the threads. And so that way the fear, the survival, the self-abandonment does not play an active part in this journey for you, because this generation is here to shift consciousness. And so they choose parents who have opened their own hearts. And when we begin to open our hearts, it can feel really edgy and uncomfortable, but necessary. And so that is also why so many women are experiencing sensitivity, intuition spikes, these deep, quick spiritual awakenings that feel like the rug beneath you has been pulled out from under your feet, emotional purges, sudden clarity, and this real unapologeticness of letting go of what is no longer aligned with you. And this is all in preparation for you to meet this little soul. And so the more that we can begin to listen, tune in, it's like I said in the beginning of this episode, letting go of that fear. How are we responding? Are we responding in the reactive way and responding from a place of fear? Or are we responding in a way of curiosity that is allowing us to be in this new frequency? And that then leads us into our next part, cleansing the bags that you cannot bring. And this was a distinct message about releasing, and interconnects with obviously all of the other pieces that we've shared about so far, because we cannot carry old baggage into the new timelines. And so like I mentioned before, it is around asking so much more of the mother especially, but also the father. You know, when we're in co-creation with a partner to welcome in a baby earthside, it's not just about the woman doing the work. This is a collaborative partnership between you, your partner, if you are doing this with a partner, and also the energy of your spirit baby as well. And it is important, you know, sometimes it'll be, yes, more designed for you to be doing the deeper inner work, and it may take your partner a little bit longer, especially if they're not so perhaps spiritually in tune, but there can still be beautiful layers that you get to ponder over, connect over, and an invitation for you and your partner to connect on this deeper level, on this heart resonance that is perhaps very new for you, and perhaps a way that you were never shown when you were a child, or there was no role modeling of this when you were growing up. And so being open and honest with each other of, hey, this is really new for me, and I feel like I still want to be in this element of curiosity, and we're co-creating this little soul to come into this world together. I really invite you to come along on this journey with me. And so when we open up those doors to communication in that way, it allows your partner to feel this sense of connectedness, that they are here as more of an active participant rather than just being, one half of the conception journey. And so when they were sharing with me about this old baggage and that they do not want to bring into this next life, into this next chapter, this includes old beliefs, shame, guilt, unworthiness, fear of being seen, fear of failing, fear of wanting a baby too much, ancestral trauma, and the deep-seated heartbreak which is stored in a woman's womb. Well, actually, not just a woman's womb. Men too also hold that energetic frequency of a womb as well. And they moved into sharing that your womb will be purified through experience. And so let it happen. Obviously, we're not going to let experiences take hold, but when we allow ourselves to be taken on this path, it isn't about being high vibe. It is about being authentic. This is also where boundaries come in, which will be a topic for another time. And so when you feel this heaviness, don't feel like you're being in this state of punishment of thinking, oh my gosh, I have to do all this on my own. And it feels like a lot to bring this baby earthside. You get to choose to, but also call on them. Ask them to support you. Allow them to guide you toward the light. And so when you're feeling lost, allow them to guide you back to trust. And when you feel stuck, allow them to guide you to let go. And so when we can begin to open up the communication pathways to your spirit babies, this is when this beautiful reciprocity of exchange of energy can become more fluid, can become clearer in the way in which we communicate and prepare your body, mind, and spirit for this next evolution of souls to come earthside. Because everything, it's part of the preparation. And that then leads us into the 2026 timeline. So they shared with me that they're coming in 2026. Our arrivals have been delayed, not because you are unworthy, but because humanity is recalibrating. And it made so much sense when this piece was shared with me because, 5 years is a long time. From 2020 to 2025, there's been so much shifting, changing. Our world is so different. And, as a collective, we are recalibrating in this sense. And so this may have looked like, for some women and partnerships, it may have looked like fertility delays, pregnancies that couldn't hold, cycles that felt unpredictable, relationships that had shifted, that had closed, that had maybe reopened, identity deaths, or this sense of waiting, this sense of when is this going to happen? But none of this is random, because these beautiful souls, they're choosing conscious parents, the parents that are willing to do the inner work, the parents who are listening, the ones that are devoted, the ones that feel this sense, this desire, this innate agreement almost of, okay, this soul contract of we are choosing to be in the openness of this energetic exchange, this opportunity to conceive these delicious, divine spirit babies that are coming in earthside. They're choosing parents who feel, who rise, who communicate, who utilize their words, their feelings, their actions many of these souls are just waiting for Earth's heart grid to complete its shift. And so this recalibration is already well underway. And, you know, I feel this sense that there has been enough of an awakening shift for many of these parents that they can begin to come on in 2026. And that was really part of the final message as well, around embody devotion. And what these beautiful spirit babes meant by that was that it's not discipline necessarily, it's not pressure, it's not punishment, it's devotion. Devotion to nourishment, to truth, devotion to your womb, to your relationship, devotion to your heart, to your path, and to your becoming. How can you lean in with curiosity to shed these final layers? You know, we are in the year of the snake. We are in an astrological 9 year. And we are in this precipice of time right now to really finally let go of any of these skins that we have been holding onto, any of these thought patterns, belief systems, ancestral ties that we know are just playing in the background. Now we really get to be in this sense of devotion of, am I choosing for that to be in my field any longer? And if not, fabulous. You know, perhaps we can do some work together, or you find an amazing aligned practitioner to support you to do that. But the choice is yours ultimately, and this sense of devotion. These little souls are really calling in the mothers who know how to come home to themselves first, which, you know, sounds ironic in a sense too, because as we know, when we become mothers, there is such a deeper unraveling of matrescence that, you know, occurs throughout this shift into mother as well. But this is really around the devotion of the archetype of mother, the embodiment of mother. Who are you unapologetically choosing to be, moving out of this maiden energy and into the embodied mother who knows herself, knows her sense of self-worth, knows her capacity to create, to manifest things into her life, into her world, through her womb, through her heart, through her energetic alignment. She is the powerful mother that these little souls will attune to, because there will be this distinct frequency match with their heart resonance. And I hope that this is landing for you, beautiful souls. And I have so much more I want to share with you, but I am mindful of our time that we have been chit-chatting about today. But I just wanted to really close with the last little piece of the message that these little souls have chosen to share today. I absolutely have adored connecting and sharing their little beautiful elements of wisdom and insight for us, just to gift us a little bit of information. And this last piece felt really potent in the sense, and perhaps a beautiful way to finish for the women out there who are in the depths of it all. I see you. For the woman traversing the uncertainties, the 2-week waits, the undulations of the all of everything, whilst trying to function in our day-to-day fast-paced world. I see you. I hear you, and I feel you, and so do these little souls. And remember, they're not asking for perfection. They're asking for you to honor your truth. And so, to the woman listening, your child is closer than you think. Every tear, every frustration, every surrender has been part of your preparation. You are not waiting, you are becoming. We, the spirit children of the new earth, choose mothers who rise, choose mothers who feel, choose mothers who lead with their hearts. Clear what needs to be cleared, softened where you have hardened, and remember who you are here to be. We are coming. It is always such a divine privilege to connect to these little souls. And so I hope that this episode has landed for you today. If you felt a presence, a knowing, a softening from any words that have been shared, any resonance that has been transpired today, I invite you to take a moment to place your hands on your heart and a hand on your womb and breathe. And breathe deeply into that connection. Breathe deeply into yourself. Gift yourself this sense of grace. And see how much more you can lean in to the curiosity. How much more can I love myself today? You're not alone on this journey. You're not behind and you're not missing anything. You are perfectly on time. And so thank you for being here, beautiful soul. And I cannot wait to see you in the next episode. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day wherever you are in the world. And I will chat to you all very, very soon. Sending you love. Mwah.